Hey guys, me like Big Boom here, and today I'm going to be giving you guys a little bit of an update as well as a tour regarding my server. I have been getting a few questions recently saying that my server is no longer working, and I'm here to address that. Some of you guys might know that a week ago, just under a week ago, my server IP actually changed. It's now being hosted by the Potato Gaming, so be sure to check out their website in the description down below if you guys like to buy some dedicated servers for yourself. But in turn, because of that change in hosting, the IP has changed as well, and some of you guys weren't aware of that, so I'm putting it on the channel so that everyone is aware. So the new information will be on the screen right now, in the description down below, as well as in the description of every video from here on out. So just a nice big refresh. Now everybody's on the same page. You can connect to my server using that information. Now some of you guys might be saying, okay, it's a different server. What about creative? I loved creative so much. Don't worry, all that is still there. So if you connect to the server, which I'll do real quick, it will still be creative, so there's no need to worry. The only change is that instead of typing in /m to spawn things, you're going to be typing in /i as it was before. Now since I'm here, I might as well just go over a tour of all the commands that are available on the server, because I also do get quite a few questions regarding that as well. Also, and this has been a slightly controversial change, there is a cooldown on this command. So after you spawn yourself an item, you will need to wait, I believe, a minute and a half, I think, before you're able to spawn another item. It used to not have a limit, but unfortunately people would start spawning just tons and tons of items. They would get a command and they would copy it, and then they would just paste it. They'd paste and spam, and then they'd just drop items all over the place. And people did that all the time. It made the server super laggy, so I had to put a limit on it. It's just, I can't escape that. It needed to be done. I'm sorry. I mean, I wish I could find a solution for it, but right now the only real solution is just that we need to put a cooldown on there. If there are any programmers out there that want to make me a custom plugin that limits the amount of items that you can spawn, go right ahead. That would be awesome. But anyway, let's get right into the commands that you guys can use. Now there are 4 in total. To start, let's go over the spawn commands. So you'll be typing all this in the chat, and we're going to be typing in /i for the default spawn command. You can choose to enter in an ID like 4 for an Eaglefire, or you can enter in the name itself, like Eaglefire. Now I have an Eaglefire. Now if you guys were not an admin on this server, which most of you guys are not, we'd now need to wait a minute before we can spawn another item. Now I'm sure many of you guys don't know the IDs by heart, so if you guys want to spawn an item that contains a space in it, like a green day pack, you would need to enclose it in quotations. So for example, you type in /i, then put in quotations green day pack, and then it will give you a green day pack like that. If you want to spawn more than one item at a time, for example 4 medkits, you would type in /i15 for the ID of the medkit, then add a space after the number or the name that you entered, and put the quantity there. And now we have 4 medkits. Also, there is a vehicle command. You can use this by typing in /v, and it's under the same rules as the /i command. Let's say I want a Huey, but I don't remember the ID for it. Just type in Huey, and we now have a Huey. Now this does have a longer cooldown, so keep that in mind. I think it is 15 minutes, but I'm not entirely sure. But anyway, you can spawn a single vehicle every 15 or so minutes. Also, if you want to give yourself some experience, which is obviously very nice, type in /exp and then the quantity that you want. So let's say that many, whatever that is. And I'm now just giving myself what appears to be 25 million experience. And the last command that you guys are able to use is the teleport command. The way this works is that you can send teleport requests to other players, and then that player can choose whether or not they want to deny or accept that request. So if you're playing with friends, you'd obviously send a teleport request to your friend and then they can accept it. But if you're a random person, you aren't going to have people randomly teleporting to you unless you actually accept their teleport request. To use this, to start, let's just type in /tpa, and it will give you a tutorial on how to actually use it. I do believe it does have a cooldown of like 2 or so minutes to keep people from like spamming it and making it impossible to raid bases, but yeah, that's how it works. Also, in regards to the future of the server, do you guys think that I should add the feast mod? For those of you that don't know what that is, it's basically every 5 minutes it will put out an announcement on the server saying that a feast is starting in, let's say, Everett, for example. And then once that feast starts, it will spawn a bunch of items in a big pile right in that town. So everybody can choose whether or not they want to stay away from that big pile and stuff like that, or if they want to actually go there and loot some stuff, or they can sit back in the hills and snipe the people who try and take the loot. Anyway, it's all up to you. You guys can vote that in the top right. Also, I'd like to just lay down some basic rules just on paper, so that they're written down, and this is where you go when it comes to following rules and enforcing rules. I'll put these rules in the description down below, and I'll also kind of cover them in this video. So to start, no spawn camping, and that means sitting there with your gun pointed right at a spawn point, just waiting for somebody to spawn there. Don't do that. It's just rude, it's pointless, don't do it. Number 2, no incessant killings of nakeds, and this is kind of subjective. I know it's kind of difficult to enforce that, but what I'm saying is just, like, I'm fine if you kill, like, a naked kid that's just running full speed at you, but don't just run around brutally murdering hundreds of harmless little dudes on a lovely stroll in the forest. Just leave them alone, have a little bit of decency in yourself, and just don't just pull the trigger on every single thing you see. Just have a little bit of decency, and we won't have any issues. I mean, that's not going to be a serious offense. I might just kick you if you're like constantly killing nakeds, but you know, nothing serious with that. It's just out of respect. I mean, come on. On the other side of the spectrum, if you get caught placing traps on a player's spawn point, you will be permanently banned. Don't do it. You will be banned forever and ever. When you are 90 years old and on your deathbed, you will still not be allowed in my servers. So do not put traps on the spawn points. Okay, it might be funny for yourself for just maybe 30 seconds, but then every single person that wants to play on the server after that is going to respawn, and they're going to instantly die, and there's absolutely no... This guy's going to crash. This guy's going to crash. Oh, I told you. Number 4, building a giant wall dividing Seattle in half just to call it Donald Trump's wall and not allow people to cross is pretty funny, not gonna lie, but it's not very funny for very long because it just lags the server. So just be considerate of others and only create buildings that are useful to just make the server run better for other people. So just, you know, stay away from just the stupid creations. I mean, come on, make something cool at least, not just a giant foundation wall just going across the entire freaking map. And the last rule is impersonation of me. That's a permanent ban. I mean, I'm sorry. It used to be cool, you know, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery or whatever, but recently people have been creating Steam accounts that look like mine just to go on my server or the comment section or the Steam group or whatever, and have people donate skins or real life money to them so that they can add you as a friend or sign your profile or whatever. Like, they are scamming you, basically. I mean, that isn't stupid, that's just straight up illegal, okay? So if you see anyone impersonating me, report it, please. It's not cool. It's really irritating for me, because not even Steam will do anything, so I'm just doing my best in my power to keep you guys aware. Also, I will never ask of anything of you when it comes to signing profiles or adding as friends, okay? So just stay away from that. Be wary. Also, report impersonating people on my server. You can tell if the Me Like Big Boom that connects to this server is the real one by pressing M and noticing that I am an admin, meaning that I have a blue name. I'll also have my little Me Like Big Boom logo here. Also, if you hover over my name, you'll notice that it says Me Like Big Boom. That is my Steam name. So that's also another indicator. And for a for sure indicator, you can press Shift Tab. You can go into View Players and Recent Games. I will be in this list, and then you can click Profile, and it will bring you to this page. And my profile looks just like this. It's got all these little fancy things. It's got RPGs in my item showcase. It's got a red background. It's got like 1,300 comments. Anyway, that is the real one. If you see anyone else, go to their profile and get their Steam ID so I can ban them. I mean, if they're connecting, you know, and they're just kind of just maybe a fan or something, but if they're like trying to scam you and stuff like that, please report it. So that's also just kind of a public server announcement, not really related to my video, but I also needed to get that out for you guys, just to keep that in mind, you know. But anyway, that is pretty much everything regarding my server. Have fun, you guys. If there are any issues that you guys come across, be sure to tweet me. Also, check out the Potato Team. I mean, they got some awesome servers available for sale, so you guys can check that out in the description down below. Anyway, that's all I have for now. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to rate, comment, subscribe, and do all that gibberish, because Me Like Big Boom is out.